Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome John with Renova Family Law. He started his law firm, a couple months ago, and he's been already doing a phenomenal job, amazing job. So I wanted to have him on, kind of speak not only on his experience, but if you're thinking about starting a law firm yourself, kind of what he went through and kind of get his experience and with Wise Guys and work with us and kind of see what he went through. So thank you so much, John, for taking time out of your day. And
Of course. Of
yeah,
course. Much. I'll always make room for Cooper Saunders. He's done it for me, so I'll always make sure I can help however I can.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I wanted to ask, what is it like working with wise guys? I think that that's what everyone's kind of wanting to know whenever they schedule a consultation with us.
Yeah, so I don't know how unique I am in the sense that started working with Wise Guys before I even started my firm. I would imagine most people who work with Wise Guys and work with you, Cooper, are already established. They have an online presence. They, have been in the business for years. I was fresh. I think I was even in connection with Wise Guys before I even formed my LLC. The first call I made was Cooper. I was able to find him online. I liked what I saw, so I thought I'd give him a call. And from the initial phone call with Wise Guys and the team, it was just I couldn't imagine working with anyone else. Ultimately, when you work with Wise Guys, you're not working with a vendor, you're working with a partner. I started my firm midway through July. I think I started working with Wise Guys and Cooper in May. So everything you see online is a product of Wise Guys, and it has gone way better than I anticipated. And I anticipated great results from Wise Guys and great results from Cooper, and it has surpassed that completely. So working with Wise Guys has been a blessing. I owe a lot to how my firm has got started to Cooper and Wise Guys. So couldn't recommend enough.
Yeah, and so would you say, I think you kind of hit on that, if your favorite part of Wise Guys, is it was really the partnership feel. I think that too, you reaching out so early, we were able to really craft something beautiful, from the ground up, Estero and then Naples and how quickly we've been ranking in those areas and all that good stuff. So would you say kind of that's your favorite part of Word of Wise Guy?
Yeah, absolutely, because it's ultimately starting a law firm is very lonely. Starting any business is very lonely. All you have is just really yourself and your support staff, your support system. And, so right now it's just me and my wife and my dog, and that's it. But I haven't felt that way because I've had Wise Guys and because I've had Cooper. When I started this thing, it was every single day, twice, three times a day. I'm getting ideas from Cooper, emails from phone calls. Do you like this? It started from just picking a color of my firm to where we're at today when we're talking about marketing strategy and what parts of Florida we're hitting. And in a really lonely situation, Wise Guys brings a partnership that makes you feel like you're working together as opposed of, I pay you, you do Google Ads. It does not feel like that at all. So that is 1000%. And anyone who ever asks me about Wise Guys, I always tell them it's a partnership and it's not a transactional relationship.
And that's my favorite part too, is like some of my best friends and greatest friends are clients, and that's one thing that I really pride myself on and also look for because it's also the quality that you have in terms of like whenever we first spoke, you're like, look, I'm trying to grow my law firm, and you also because it's always a partnership in terms of, yeah, I can get you leads, but I can get you people, but you have to close them and you have to do your side of things. So it's definitely a working relationship. And so what did like the first month, second month, third month look like for your law firm, and what were your expectations, I guess, or what were you expecting versus the results that you got?
July 14th was my first official day. So we're coming up on 2 months. Like I said, I started working with Cooper in May. Basically, when we had our little, like our onboarding call, one of the questions he asked me, it's like, what are your expectations for clients? Like I said, this is a brand new firm. So I really didn't have a clue. So I told him, I'm like, listen, man, if I get one client my first month, I'd be jacked up about it. I think, we haven't gotten to our third month yet. So this is just so
Close.
I think I told you one client the first month, two clients the second month. I got my third month goal in like my second week. And I swear this is not me taking credit for it. It is July 14th, the day I opened my firm, my phone was just ringing, right? And that is completely a product of Wise Guys' expertise and what they did for me. So, like I said, I'm closing in on my second month. I probably have triple of my third month goal right now during my second month. So, that's clearly just Wise Guys' expertise, knowing just the overall sense of what people are looking for.
Mm.
Because ultimately, us lawyers, we think we know what people are looking for, but I would say Wise Guys knows what they are as opposed to us. So really, it's been phenomenal. So the one client the first month, I think I got that like my third day. So I was pretty fired up about that. But yeah, like I said, that's all Wise Guys.
Yeah, because it's nice whenever, we can set a date where, like, okay, this is when I'm gonna launch. Since we reached out in May, I had everything kind of set and ready, so I just had to push the,
Right.
go button, and it was all the ads were done learning, everything was ready, all the conversion actions were done. And so if someone's thinking about hiring us, whether to start a law firm, grow their law firm, what is one thing that you're like, okay, this is what sets them apart, or this is what you should know in that regard?
Yeah, I hate to keep saying the same thing, but it is really the number one compliment. It's the partnership aspect of it. But to give you an actual a tangible answer, Cooper and I have monthly meet well, yeah, the monthly meetings doesn't sound like a lot considering I'm finishing my second month. So it more is actually like a weekly meeting deal.
Yeah.
And we're always fine tuning because in your area, I feel like it could be very easy to just press the Google Ads button and forget about it. But there is always some sort of fine tuning going. Like last week, Cooper and I, we looked at the basically a map of Florida, and I don't, the terminology, I obviously don't, but it had like little radii over the certain areas that we wanted to hit. And we totally mixed it up a little bit and actually hit different areas that we weren't hitting. And just from that conversation alone, I'd say my phone has tripled in phone calls.
Mm.
So the ultimate just precision on where we're doing our ads, the fine tuning of our ad campaigns. When if I had to guess, other companies probably just do a cookie cutter approach and move on to their next client. Where at least I feel as if every month, Wise Guys is making my ad campaign stronger. There's the partnership relationship, and then there's also it feels that they have just as much skin in the game as I do.
I feel like, we've been working together for almost 5 months now. So, getting all your stuff set up, your law firm might have launched, 2 months ago, but building your site, building the branding, so it feels like we've been working together for a lot longer than 2 months. That's why, like, okay, wait, so, but do you have any final thoughts, that anyone else if looking to start a law firm or anything like that? I know that we've covered pretty much everything, but just didn't know if you had anything else to say. And if not, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, the one thing that I'll say is I have wanted to start a firm, I'd say since my second year of law school. All right. So it's been about, I don't know, 5 years ago, I'd say. And the number one thing you can be the best legal mind in the world, you can be the best trial lawyer in the world. You can run numbers, this, that, and the other, but none of it matters if your phone doesn't ring, right? That was my number one concern. And I'm sure everybody who's on the fence of starting a law firm has the same fear is how are people going to know who I am, right? And that was my fear. I mean, it was my fear on July 14th when I started my firm, and I can tell you that Cooper and Wise Guys have completely eliminated that fear. I sort of take it for granted now, which it's probably not the best thing in the world, but that's the amount of trust that I have in Wise Guys is that, listen, I know when I wake up in the morning, I know what Wise Guys is doing is going to make my phone ring, right? So that is the number one thing that I can tell you if you're on the fence is have a receptionist ready because I didn't when I started, and that has been a disaster because every time I'm on the phone, I get 3 more phone calls, and it's completely off the hook. I've had to hire a receptionist already. I am not even in my second month. I expected to make my first hire after like a year. I'm making my first hire now. And that is, like I said, strictly a product of working with Wise Guys. So if you are afraid that your phone doesn't ring or won't ring, press the Wise Guys button and it'll start ringing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. I can't wait to see where we're at, and where your law firm's at, even the next 3 to 6 months. We've been doing an amazing job, and I really appreciate your time. So thank you so much.
Of course, absolutely.